sew a box back. I got the outside and I aligned it with interfacing. Then I have the inside and it's just the inside, there's no lining. Then I have the zipper. It is facing up. I feel like it's wrong. It's facing up towards the outside of the bag. And I'm going to clip it and sew it. And then I'll come back and add the next steps. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to iron it down. And then I'm going to top stitch. And when I top stitch, I'm going to grab the pretty side of the front. And I'm going to pin it to the zipper. And then the pretty side. When I say I pin it to the zipper, I'm making sure that the part of the zipper that unzips is face down, touching the outside fabric, and that both the inside and the outside fabrics line up. And then I'm going to put the inside lining touching the back of the fabric. And you'll have like two separate bag pieces, and that's what you want. Okay, I top stitched. So now I'm ironing in the two separate pieces. Like I said. And I don't think I have pens here. And I have my pins ready. What I'm doing is I'm lining up the edge of the top fabrics with the edge of the zippers so I can get as close as possible and make it look neat. But I use right here the edges of the matching fabric to line it up properly so that I know it's not going to come out all uneven. Not sure if I mentioned it, but this is 2 fat quarters and like sections of fat quarters. So if you want like cute designs, it's very affordable. Zippers pinning is a very big deal. You can make or break a garment, especially in the learning phase. I personally hate the zipper foot that comes with the machine, and I use a Singer zipper foot that you can like move the location of the needle. I'm pretty sure it's in my Amazon storefront. If not, I'll add it. But it's also super affordable at Hobby Lobby. But from what I hear, a lot of people boycott them. And to each their own. I don't have enough money to boycott a company. So it's not that I don't agree with why they boycott. It's that I don't have the funds to boycott. Okay, when you're done sewing it like this, I'm going to unzip the zipper and there's 2 separate bags. I hold where the zipper is still shut and pull it out. Then you have both sections of the bag. I'm going to put the inside of the bag inside. And I'm going to top stitch this side. Not sure if I mentioned, but I'm going to say it again if I did. Iron this as flat as possible because the top stitch is what keeps the zipper from getting stuck. Alright, so once you get that done, you come back, iron it flat as 2 individual bag pieces. And on the front, at the end of the zipper, I'm going to put a little tab in between both of the pretty layers of the outside. I'm going to pin the inside and the outside, making sure that that zipper tag's in the process of being pinned. And I'm going to sew at the 1 centimeter seam allowance that the pattern calls for, which is pretty much 3/8.
Let me do the big one.
I'm going to insert in this side as well a pull tab, but on the opposing side I am going to leave this part undone so I have a way to flip it back over. And the pull tab will be facing up, pretty side out. Same 1 centimeter seam allowance. Make sure you leave room to open it. Like the zipper has to be semi-open. And for the tabs, I just use like a 4-inch rectangle, 4-inch by 2-inch. I just folded it over like bias tape and then sewed along the edges. But I'm leaving this part over to flip it. I'm going to flip it right side out. Well, pretty side out, but like the inside fabric's showing. And I'm going to grab corners of the outside fabric, iron them all flat, sew across at the seam allowance, and then I'll be back. Correction, I'm going to do the front 2, and then I'm going to flip it out and do the back 2 because I can't pull it out through that hole. Okay, I'm back. I assessed the situation. What I did was I folded each box corner from this little rectangle cutout, square cutout, my bad, square. And then I folded it flat on the first one, held that one flat, and folded the second one flat as well, and lined them up for the back. And I'm going to sew across that with the seam allowance, and then I'll assess the situation on how to close it and get the last 2 corners. The pattern didn't actually have a lining, but I want a lining. To get it just right, what I did was I ironed the outside flat and straight, and then I go back with the inside and I iron that flat and straight, and then line them up, and it keeps the same like shape because it's really hard to try and do both at one time. So I'm gonna put this part in just in case anybody else thinks the way I do. And then you pin it, then sew those two corners at the seam allowance. And you flip the bag correct side out, and you only have the two interior corners left to do, and I don't know how to do that till I get there. Alright, I assessed the situation. I cannot flip it out. If I do that, I technically probably should have cut the inside and center so I could have a little hole to sew up down the center. But I didn't do that because I was just trying to do it different. So you pin those areas like it's sewn, but don't sew it. And then you push the corners out to match the other side. And you're going to pin them and sew them across. And this little area is still open to flip it back inside out. But I would 100% have a slit in the middle of the inside if I did this over again. Sew down those, and then you're going to go through here and put your hand in, pull the zipper, and flip it correct sides out. And I'll show you then. Okay, make sure you clip the seams with pinking shears. Pull it out through that little hole that I told you not to sew if you did it with me. I chose to do it this way even though it's a little bit more complicated because I feel like it keeps the corners neat on the inside and the outside, and it helps them to align and match up properly. Now what I would do is I fold this over, iron it, and you could go across with your sewing machine if you want, but for the way it's sewn, I would probably do a blind stitch or a ladder stitch. Ladder stitch that there, and then you have a complete bag. To do the ladder stitch, what you're going to do is you are going to tie a knot in your thread and then pull your thread from the ugly side of the inside out. And then start on this side. You're going to go in and up. And then start on the other side where you had the edges. Go in and up again. Whoop. And it makes whoop, that little line. Whoop. There. Next one, in, up, rotate sides, in, up. In, up, in, up. Now you got those little lines. it just tightens and it's supposed to disappear, but I had messed up somewhere. So you tighten it as you go, and it will slowly like disappear. Ow. And up, across, and up. Every 4 to 5 stitches, I would advise pulling it and making sure that it disappears correctly. It looks clean. Because if you do the whole thing and it doesn't work correctly, you'll be a little butthurt. Or at least I am when it doesn't work. But there's a slight demonstration of the ladder stitch. My bad, I'm sorry. So when you get done, and at the end, you gather up what you got. Your thread might be a little short. Put your needle in, just like when you're doing the ladder stitch. And you wrap a couple layers. Boop, the thread around the needle.